Hi everyone, welcome back to the Low Code Systems YouTube channel. And in today's video, I have a really good one for you today. We're going to be talking about tables, a new feature that Google introduced this year to Google Sheets. And if you're a business owner and you're using Google Sheets to keep track of your inventory, project management, tasks, many other things that you can use Google Sheets for, you're going to want to stick around and watch this video because I'm going to break everything down for you. And I'm going to give you a quick demo on how to use it. Okay, so from now on, every time you open a Google Sheet, I'm sure you'll be able to see this display on the right-hand side of your screen called tables. And you have different categories of tables that you can use. So you have event planning, customer relations, project management, inventory management, and many others. And if you do the drop down on any of these categories, you'll be able to see tables underneath. And if you hover over each of them, you'll be able to see a small preview on your sheet of how they'll look. For this example, I'll be using project tasks. So let's say you want to insert this table. You go ahead and click insert and it'll insert into your sheet. Now, let's say you don't have that menu when you first start your sheet and you want to bring it back up. All you have to do is click insert and then select tables and it'll bring the menu right back up for you. Now, let's say you already have data in your sheet and you want to convert it into a table. All you have to do is click on the cell within your data and then go to format, then select convert to a table. Now this will convert all your data into the table and give you a better visualization of your data so you can use it more efficiently. So at this point, you should have your table created with your data in it. Now you either created a table from scratch using data that you already had in your sheet, or you selected a pre-built table from one of the templates that you have, what that Google provides for you. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to name this table. Okay, so we double click up here where it says table 1, and I'm gonna change this to tickets IT. Oh, we have an error. What's the error? Well, you can't have spaces when naming this table. You have to, if you want to have two names, you have to put an underscore and boom, it'll work, right? So I'm just gonna leave it as tickets IT, but just remember that when you're putting two names, you can't have spaces. You need to put an underscore in order for you to have two names. Right. The next thing we want to do is that for each column, we want to select a column type. Now, when you already have when you create a table from the existing data, many times it will try to already put the correct data type, but I like to go ahead and double check to make sure it is the correct data type, right? And we have a few of data types. We have number, and within number, we have percent, currency, text, date and time, drop downs, checkbox, smart chips. We'll go over smart chips. You can select, put it and default it to none. And you also have this option for placeholders, and I'll show you what placeholders are later on. So for this specific ticket number column, I want to set that into text, but it's already set up to text. Now, priority, you have the option to set it up to text, but in this case, since I only have a few options and they can be reused, I'm going to select a drop down, right? And it'll just be easier for when I add another column, it'll be just easier to select from one of the drop downs. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one because it's duplicated. And now we can set colors to this. So I'm going to set green, this, I think it's blue for low, then green for medium, and then red for high. Click done. And now it will now starting to visualize better. So I'm going to select here. And now we have, if we do a drop down, we only have 3 options: low, medium, and high, right? We'll do the same thing for department, and we'll select the drop down and we'll set colors for each of these departments. Right, click save. You can also add more if you want to. So you can have the option to add more. You just add the value, and you can always edit. So to edit this, all you have to do is go to select on the drop down, click edit, and they'll bring you back to this menu where you can just edit, either change the name, add another item, right? Assign to, I'm going to do the same thing because I only have a few texts. So I'm going to select the drop down, put a color to it. You don't have to put colors to them if you don't want to, but it just makes it easier to visualize, right? Can create done. Next thing, I have a date. So for this one, I want to set this as date, right? You can select also date and time, which you will have to put the date and the time, and and this is just it just formats it better, right? But for this case, I'm going to just use the date, right? You also have the option to just select time by itself, but I'm not gonna use that. So same thing for this one, set up as date. This one is a percentage of my progress, so I'm going to set it up as a percentage on number and then percent, right? Now let's go over placeholder. For example, if I add another row and I put 0, 0, 15, right? And this is what I was talking about. It makes it easy for you to just select from here. So I can just select low, security, detect, right? And in this column, start date, I don't know how to enter. Well, I see how it is formatted, but some people just don't pay attention. So if you don't want anyone to mess up and put the wrong format, what you want to do is you want to show placeholder. And what placeholder will do, it will show you how I want you to enter the data for me. So in this case, I want you to enter month, date, and year, right? We can do the same thing for due date, show placeholder. We can even do the same thing for progress, right? Show placeholder. And that's what placeholders do. So pretty easy. So now our table is coming along pretty nicely, and it's just easier to visualize now. So let's move on to how to add columns. So for you to add column, all you have to do is just type. So we'll add location here, right? If I add location, it will automatically append that to the table. And same thing as if you're adding rows or you're adding more data. You saw that when I added the task, it just added the appended it to the table. So if I add task 16, it will append it, right? This bothers me, so I'm going to change this to all caps, right? You select from the options, right? Put in the one thing that's pretty cool. For example, now that I added a placeholder, I can just double click in here and it'll pop up a little calendar where I can just select the date, right? And it'll automatically place it there, right? It'll put it in the correct format, so you can either select it or type it yourself. So that's a pretty cool thing. And location. So what I want to show you with location is smart chips. So what smart chips are basically they grab data that you have currently in your Google Drive or your Google account in general. So you can grab your email, the drive, even it will drive even from Google itself. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I edit column type and I select smart chips, let's say for example, we'll start with place. So if I start with place, right, and I type Walmart, right, it will tell me the Walmarts. It will even give you the map, so I can just select it and it'll add it there, right? And I can double click and you can see, you can click on it, and when you click on it, it will show you, it will take you to a Google page, and you can select how to get there and stuff. So it's pretty cool by that when it does that, right? So another thing you can do, let me show you people. So for people, let's say you have a bunch of contacts in your Gmail and you want to add someone from there. So local system is the name of our business, so we'll add it, right? But I don't have any other contacts right now, so I don't see them. But if I had more, I can just look for them and add them, right? You have the same thing for files. So if you select files, right, you can add so this will grab from your Google Drive, so it'll be your docs, your sheets, and you can select different files and you can just click on them and it'll add them to the table. So that's what smart chips are. It will just go through your Google account and select depending on the type that you select, either people, files, places. You even have finance and rating, but I'm not gonna use those for this example. So that's that, right? And now let's say here you try to add, so it also has data validation. So if you try to add something like a text, right, it's going to give you an error. It's going to say invalid, this value does not match the column type because you set it to be a date, right? And that's why you have the placeholder there. So you don't enter that type of data, right? If you enter that, it will work. So this is basically what tables are in a nutshell. it just gives you a better way to visualize your data and to format it, and it's just easier for people to see. Now we'll move on to views. So views, let's say you have to get to views, you select the little calculator here. You can create by view type. So I'm going to organize this by priority, right? And I'll organize it by priority. So if I'm in a meeting and I want to see how many tickets are high, how many tickets are low or medium, or even, and I can change this to, let's say, assigned to, right? And it'll tell me what tech has how many tickets, where the percentage is, when is it due, right? And a cool thing you can do is you can save the view. So I'll save this view by ticket, by tech, right? And let's say, for example, if I want to do it by priority, I can also save this view priority, right? And now you can see these views here. So if I just click by tech, it automatically change. And one cool thing about this is that, for example, you have this and you want to send this view to someone, you can just click get the link. So if you click on view options and you get the link to view, you can get that link and you can just email it to someone through email, so they can see the same view that you are seeing here. So that's good. For example, if you're working with other people and you just want them to see a current view of data, then you can send that link to them and they'll be able to see it. It's pretty cool. And other options that I wanted to show you was that you can adjust the table range by just selecting the cells. And you can also, let's cancel out of this. You can also customize table colors. You can change the color to blue, or was that purple, and then red, or whatever color you want. And you can revert to unformatted data, right? So it'll tell you that it's associated, and if you're sure you want to delete the table anyways, if you click OK, it'll delete, right? You can undo to bring it back. So, or you have the option to delete the table, right? So that's basically it. It's pretty cool to use tables. It formats data for you in a better way to visualize, and it's just easier for your eyes to see. And it has many other features like Google, like smart chips, which grabs from your Google Drive, either for people, files, locations, even from Google. You can also create views, right? And the cool thing about creating views is that groups things together based on how you want to see the data and structure it in that way. And you can either get a link, right, and then share it with people that you want them to see, and it just makes everything easy. So that's all I have for you today. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you so much for watching it. I hope you learned something new using tables and Google Sheets, and you can implement that in your business. Now I want to show you our website, lowcodesystems.com. We're a company and we focus on using low code and no code tools to create different automations, different applications, and even integrations for businesses. So if you'd like any work done for your own business, we can take a look at your current processes and see where we can automate. Go ahead and book a free consultation, free of no charge. And also check out our blog. I just wrote a blog, an article introducing tables in Google Sheets. Go ahead and check it out. A lot of important information there that you can use on learning how to